You're here because you decided to make a major change in your life. You're tired of feeling stuck, annoyed that whatever you do doesn't make a difference, and you want to finally set and achieve some major goals. I'm giving you an entirely free A to Z course hitting topics like mastering your mind, mastering your body, setting and achieving specific goals, financial intelligence, emotional intelligence, how to dress, how to smell good, how to journal, and how to feel fulfilled at the end of all this. And like I said, this is all completely free. The secret to getting ahead is getting started. That's not my quote, it's Mark Twain's. But either way, I live by it every single day, and I hope you enjoy the course. The Betterment Blueprint. Let's get into the entirely free A to Z self-improvement course. Here are the course modules. We got setting goals, mastering your mind, mastering your body, financial intelligence, self-care and your appearance, journaling, fulfillment, and a bonus at the end, productivity hacks and books. Who is this for? Anyone that's tired of their stagnant state of life, people who are ready to move forward and become a better version of themselves. Grab a notebook or iPad to keep track of answers you have for questions that you will ask yourself. If you've never tried to become a better version of yourself, this will be difficult. If you're scared to be honest with yourself, this is not gonna work. In the description, there will be links for all of the things in this course. There will be cheat sheets. There will be fillable PDFs custom for you to fill out so that you can follow along the course. You probably don't even have to use a notebook. Let's go on to the first section, and that's creating your goals. You want to look like this guy? Look at his McLaren. Cool guy McLaren. Look at his baddie he got on his side. This is what you got to ask yourself when you are about to set your 5-year goals. What do you want to be doing? Where do you see yourself living? What will your finances look like? And what do you look like? Are you chubby, skinny, fat? There is a free fillable PDF in the description. Like I said, you could just go to the description and you'll be able to download this PDF and fill it out as we go along this section of the course. We want to be extremely specific about them. When you ask yourself, what do my finances look like, right? I don't want you to just say, I want to be rich. You need to get specific and say, I want to have 100,000 in savings and 2 cash flowing properties. If real estate is what floats your boat, that's what you would put, right? That's one of the things that you might put. If YouTube is one of the things, what do you want to be doing? Let's say you wanted to answer that question. If you said, I want to be a YouTuber, instead of saying that, say, I want to reach 500,000 subs so I can begin to grow other brands and spend time with loved ones. Ask yourself, what would I need to do in order to be this person I just described? So whatever you just mentioned, all the things that you just wrote down, it's time to actually write 3 to 5 things that need to be achieved in order to become that person. You're gonna have your 3 to 5 major goals. Now you're asking, how do I get there? How will you reach these goals? Let's go back to that YouTube example. If your 5-year goal is to have a profitable YouTube channel that will allow me to grow other businesses or spend time with loved ones, notice how specific this is. If this is your 5-year goal, you're gonna get even more specific. In 1 year, what is your action step? Start a channel, reach 1,000 subs so I can get monetized. That should be your 1-year goal, because now you're getting specific about what you have to do in order to reach the 5-year goal. You're gonna do this with every single 5-year goal. So if you have 3, you do it for 3. You have 3 5-year goals, you're gonna set 3 1-year goals for each of those 5-year goals. And then you're just gonna go deeper, man. You're gonna go to 1-year goal, then you're gonna dumb it down to 1 month goal, upload 1 video, right? Then you're gonna go to 1 week goal. Pick a channel name and niche and think of some video ideas to get started on. Then you're gonna go to the 1 day goal, which is to set task lists, right? Day 1 might be channel name and niche. Day 2 might be how to film yourself. Day 3 might be how to edit. You're gonna go up the steps and you're gonna start here. If this is the top of the flight of stairs, you need to start here. This is the first step. If you are lost in life and you don't know when to start, this is the trial and error method. Now, this is what I hear a lot. This is where I was personally. When I was in this stage of life, this is exactly what I did and I ended up getting out of it. So you're gonna start with what do you like to do? Even a little bit. It could be chess, basketball, knitting. It could be, I don't know, watching TV or making videos, making content, whatever it is. List every single one of those things out and don't skimp out. Write every single thing you like, even a little bit. It's gonna give you a great foundation. Then you're gonna go to what are you good at doing? Even a little bit. Like I said, like at the previous one, if you're even a little bit good at it, I want you to write it down. And if it's something that you also like to do, that's a bonus for you. If you think you're not good at anything, which sometimes this happens, you go back to what you like to do, the first thing that you were doing. You pick 1 or 2 things and you begin to learn absolutely everything about it. You become a master at it. Let's say it was knitting, right? And you wanted to be an expert knitter and you saw yourself in the future potentially being a super duper knitter. You wanted to start an e-commerce business, an Etsy business, selling custom knit clothing. Pick that thing, begin to learn absolutely everything about it. The ins and outs of knitting, man. It might be a very extensive topic. But if you're good enough at something, people will pay you to teach them it down the line. If they're not going to pay you to teach you how to knit, they're going to pay for the things you are knitting. So whatever it is, you're picking that service and you're going deeper into it. If you feel like whatever you picked is getting boring or you don't like it enough, it's time to move on to the next thing. Don't keep wasting energy there, because you don't want to get stuck in something that you hate doing. And if you completely lost interest in it, there's no real reason to pursue it. Eventually, you'll see yourself doing one of these things long term. If you still have absolutely no idea what you like, start learning what I call the valuable skills list. Sales, running ads, graphic design, video editing, trading currencies, copywriting, digital marketing, social media management, content creating, coding, data analysis, AI agents. I'm pulled more towards video editing and graphic design. I've been doing that since I was 11 years old, right? This is what was pulling me in the first place. Pick something that might pull you in the first place, right? If it's trading currencies, that might be for you. You never know. I have a friend that's a coder and he likes it, and that's why he's good at his job. Start using some of these in your 5-year vision. If you have no clue where you will end up, you have no clue what you like, you have no clue what you're good at, start here. Setting a goal and adjusting it is better than setting none at all. That's why I'm saying if you pick one of these goals and just add it to your 5-year plan, it's better to adjust it down the line than to just forget about this altogether. And like I said, there's going to be a free PDF for you in the description. It's all something you can fill out. You have clear-cut goals now that you are aiming for. Get your goal sheet below at bettermentusa.com. You know, it'd be great if Celsius was like a sponsor, but I wouldn't even take money. I would just take Celsius. Moving on to the next part here. Mastering your mind. This is very important, right? You don't want to look like this guy. This guy is stressed about everything that's going in his life. He's stressed about the paperclip he lost yesterday. You don't want to be that guy. You don't want to care about the paperclip, right? When you have an impulse, how often do you follow it? Here's some examples. Are you staying in bed when you need to get up? Are you spending money on things you don't ever use or need? Are you doom scrolling to kill time? Are you telling yourself you're not going to work out because you don't feel like it? When you give into these things, you become weaker, and when you defeat them, you get stronger, right? It's like building a character in a video game. For example, Fallout 4. The skill tree that we're trying to grow here is charisma and intelligence, if you want to reference Fallout. It's finally time you need to understand what your impulses are and how to stop giving in. It's time to work on your mind. You got to sit down and think of all the bad impulses you have. Begin to attach a pain point to what will happen if you continue to give into these things. We're going to go over an example right now, just so you know. If you can't think of any pain points, go to ChatGPT. We live in the age of information. This is extremely easy to do. And you type in with the prompt, give me major pain points / consequences associated with giving into the bad impulses below. And then you list the impulses that you have, whether it's doom scrolling or staying in bed or whatever the case may be. Just to prove to you that this works, I did it. Staying in bed when you need to get up. Doom scrolling on social media. Impulse buying. An example, doom scrolling. You're conforming to everyone else's standard, which is normal, but normal people never get to high places. You'll become so fed with dopamine that life will not be fun unless you attach brain rot and engagement to whatever is going on. It'll be harder to focus on anything productive due to your new 3-second attention span. Now, this is extremely drastic. This example is drastic, right? But it gives you a picture of what will happen if you continue to take these impulses and do them for the next year, 2 years. You can do it for a couple of days. Of course, it's not going to change your life. It's not going to make anything so bad. But if you continue, that's what happens. And that's why we can't keep forming these types of habits. Bonus, if you only do something because of a trigger, remove the trigger. For example, if you smoke when there's a whole pack on the table, just remove the pack, put it in your bag or something, you'll smoke less. If you doom scroll only when you see Instagram and TikTok on your home screen, just remove them from your home screen. You don't have to delete them, but just remove them from your home screen. Now moving on to emotional intelligence. You want to look like this guy sitting in the middle of fucking nowhere, apparently, on a patch of grass in the middle of a pond with waterfalls behind them. You want to feel this way. Maybe you don't want to be there, but you have to be able to understand your own emotions and have control over them. This usually takes time. It's not something that happens right away. I still fuck up. It's not something that you just pick up like that. Here are some examples of emotional intelligence. Not lashing out when you're angry, being able to hide emotions when it might be a point of weakness, understanding another person's point of view and empathizing with them, calmly debating rationally rather than arguing with emotion. That's important. Knowing who you can be vulnerable with, which as a man is not many people, not letting people's opinions affect you, not taking things personally, always staying calm and understanding what's in front of you before allowing yourself to be affected by it. Here's a great example of a book that can teach you a lot of these things. It's Waking the Giant Within by Tony Robbins. It's kind of big. The book, pause. The book is it's kind of long, Pause again. But how do you do this? How do you achieve emotional intelligence? You read this book if you really want to. If reading is not your thing, you got to warm up to it. At the end of the course, there's going to be a list of books that you can start reading just to warm yourself up to reading a little more. Move to another room when you feel emotional or irrational. For example, right now I'm in my living room. If something drastic happened in my living room right now and someone walked in and started yelling at me that I knew, I just go to the other room, take a breather, and reset. Exercise is great. Boxing, running, weightlifting, those are like the 3 best ones. Understanding it's not the end of the world. This will come with time. Congratulations, you now understand what it takes to take control of your mind. Like I said, this comes with time. This is not something that just happens like that. Next part, mastering your body. You want to look like this guy. You want to have those abs, those biceps. You're not gonna unless you take gear. Your body reflects how strong your mind can become. That's why building the mind comes first. It takes discipline to stay in shape. What I'm saying is that if you can wake up and exercise every day, you have enough drive to keep moving forward. The sole task of waking up and exercising every day is mentally challenging in itself. You don't want to do exercise as soon as you open your eyes in the morning, but if you can do that, everything else will be easier. Mastering your body doesn't just mean exercise, it's the fuel that you feed it. As far as the fuel you're going to be feeding your body, let's talk about diet, right? Let's say you want to lose weight or gain weight. I'm going to lay out some steps for you to take. Step 1, Google calorie calculator, input your metrics, figure out your daily maintenance calories. Don't worry, we're going to do an example right now after I give you these steps. Step 2, subtract 200 to 500 calories depending how fast you want to lose weight. That number is your new daily intake. Don't worry, we're going to do an example. Step 3, use a calorie calculator app like MyFitnessPal, Lose It to track calories. Weigh your food when you can, don't cheat. I use Lose It because I paid $20 for the year. You can take a picture of your food, it's going to track it. I'm pretty sure the other app does the same thing for free, but it's a great addition. If you don't have a scale and you don't feel like getting a scale, this can be a great way to still stay on track. Here's the example, right? This is my maintenance weight, 2,549. What are we going to do? In order to lose weight, we're going to take that 2,549 and we're going to subtract 200 to 500 calories, depending how fast I want to lose weight. Let's do 300 calories, right? I'm going to end up with 2,249 calories per day. That's going to be my limit per day. I don't recommend this because that's like not maintainable at all unless you're competing. There's no reason to do this. If you are trying to gain weight, you do the same thing, just add 200 to 500 calories instead of subtracting. And both ways, eat at least 0.7 grams to 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight in order to build muscle. For example, if you weigh 150 pounds, multiply that by 0.7, you get 105. You do the same thing with 1.0, you'll get 150. So 105 to 150 grams of protein per day is what you should be aiming for. Cheating, lying to yourself will only make this harder. I promise you that. If you aren't tracking, if you're not watching what you eat, if you're eating huge portions instead of actually taking control of what you're eating, you're gonna gain weight, you're not gonna make any progress. That's just the truth. You wanna build muscle? I wish I had those calves. To start, if you wanna build muscle and you've never been in the gym, I'll give you a great example. If you've never been in the gym, and I'm telling you to go 3 to 4 times a week consistently, not insane workouts, 2-hour sessions, just get used to going, right? If you have never stepped foot in the gym and you're anxious about doing so, just step inside the gym for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, and then leave. Adrian did this when he first started his fitness journey. He lost 100 pounds in 12 months. Isn't that insane? Yes, it is. And once you get, obviously once you get used to it, you're gonna do the 3-4 times a week and actually do the workouts. 3-day full body workout or PPL. There's going to be a cheat sheet here, so just wait. With on and off rest days, 1 day rest, 1 day workout, 1 day cardio at the end of it. If you're ready to improve, you start going 5 to 6 times a week, or you start pushing sets until you physically cannot anymore if you're still doing it 3 to 4 times a week. You do get more gains if you work out one body part twice a week, according to Dr. Mike Israetel. Most important, always put 100% effort to it. Do what works for you, learn what you like over time. If you like running, calisthenics, or weights, I like calisthenics, so that's what I do. I just think it's more fun. Don't skip legs. Guys do this all the time. I never skip legs. My legs are still small. Sometimes you take a L. That's life. Eventually, it'll become second nature. Here's a great book recommendation. Atomic Habits by James Clear. He says 30 days of consistency doing one habit can help establish it. Just focus on today. Tomorrow, focus on tomorrow. That's all you got to do. Just keep doing that. By the end of the 30 days, you'll have a great baseline. It's time for your cheat sheet. Here's a workout split cheat sheet in the description, all with cardio options, PPL, full body, and calisthenics, all down in the description at bettermentusa.com. Oh my God, who are these guys? What? This is Adrian, exactly who I was talking about that lost 100 pounds in 12 months. Inspirational. Wow, he looks familiar, don't he? So you go to BTB Fit _. That's our channel. We've been running that channel for a little while now, almost 2 years. Mike Rizertel's channel. I learned a lot from him. Jeff Nipper, Jeremy Ether. Boom, free fitness content right there. Here's a quick before and after so you know that what I'm saying is not bullshit, right? I'm speaking what I was practicing what I preached at one point. So, you know, there's your proof. Congratulations, Mr. White. You now know how to control your diet and physical fitness. Don't forget to get those cheat sheets. There's the diet layout and there's the fitness plan layout, all in those cheat sheets. Moving on to the next part of the course, financial intelligence. You want to look like this guy, right? With the suit, stepping out the bank, cash in his pocket. Disclaimer, I'm not a financial professional. I'm just going to be telling you what worked for me and what works for the people around me. This isn't how to get rich, but this is learning about some financial tools and how to manage your money and not go broke. Because you don't want to become this statistic. 59% of Americans don't have $1,000 in savings. You don't want to be in the majority, like I said. It's time to calculate your cost of living. What does it cost you to live? Necessities, rent, healthcare, and bills, and transportation, and absolutely everything you spend on. Oh my God, Sam, are you about to give us another free resource to use to help ourselves? Yes, of course I am. That's the whole point of this. There's a cost of living calculator in the description. This is what it looks like on the screen. On the left side, you're going to be putting your rent or whatever you're going to be paying per month. Then you put how much it costs you, how many times per month it gets charged, the day you pay it on, and it's going to calculate exactly how much it costs for you to live per week, bi-weekly, monthly, and yearly. Go through the last 2 to 3 months of bank statements, find everything reoccurring, and put it in. Even haircuts and Amazon Prime. I personally order DoorDash every week at least one time. Usually costs me $20, right? I added that to my cost of living sheet because that's something I do. There's usually 1 or 2 days that I don't have food and I need to go grocery shopping that I consider the DoorDash a necessity. So you can make those decisions by yourself. Also add things you spend on consistently, like what I just said. It's very important to be honest with yourself. This might give you a headache now, but it will save you time and money in the future. Now let's get into how to split your check. You want your money neatly in little piles like this, except obviously not all in cash. My personal method, pay for your living expenses first, right? After you put in everything on that calculator, you take your check, pay whatever the living expenses are, and then you move on to the next part. 30% for taxes. If taxes are already taken out of your check, add this to the next part. For example, if you're a W-2 employee in the USA, you probably get taxes taken out of your check already, and at the end of the year, you don't have to pay any taxes, you usually get a refund. So if you are a W-2, just combine this and the next part. If you are a business owner, 30% for taxes. If you're 1099, 30% for taxes. 50% to savings and investments. We're gonna be doing an example, so don't worry. 15% to debt or side hustles or a want that you've been saving up for and isn't just an impulse buy. And then lastly, 5% fuck you money. If that 5% isn't enough for you, learn a higher value skill or stop buying expensive shit. We're using that 5% as a standard because that 5% could be $25 a week, that 5% could be $100 a week. It depends on how much you make. So the more you make, the more your fuck you money will be, and then maybe you could go to the strip club. Don't go to the strip club. Valuable skills you could learn. We're going back to this because if that 5% is not enough for you, try to learn one of these things. An example. Let's do an example real quick, right? Look at this pie chart. It's nice, no? So your salary is $1,125 a week, which is the average in the United States. Your living expenses per week are $625. You move it into a different account until the bills are due. Different account? What are you talking about, Sam? What different account? PayPal, Venmo, Cash App, regular savings account in your bank account. You can put it anywhere. Just put it away until you need it. Then you take 80% of the $500 that's left in this example, and you have $400. This goes to savings. If you are a 1099 employee or a business owner, this 80% will be split between 30 and 50. But like I said, if you get taxes taken out of your check, just do 80%. Then you do 15% of $500, $75. That goes to debt, or if you want to start a side business or something, 5% of $500, $25. That's fuck you money. Take that to the strip club. What are you gonna do with these savings? That 80% that you're saving, that's a shit ton of money for you, right? You're gonna put it into one of the things we're about to talk about. One, Roth IRA. It's a retirement account you could pull money tax-free out of when you're 59 and a half. $7,000 max deposit per year. By the way, I don't know why it's a and a half, it just is what it is. No tax penalty if only withdrawing what you originally put in. For example, if I deposited $7,000, I choose to withdraw the $7,000 next year, I don't pay taxes on that. But there is a 10% tax penalty if you choose to withdraw the gains as well. If you put $7,000 in, you invested it in there, which we'll talk about in a minute, and you take $8,000 out, you're gonna get taxed on that $1,000 that you made in capital gains. Also, this does not accrue interest unless you actually buy something with the account's money. You can have the money sitting there, but it's not gonna do anything if it's just sitting there. Basically, the main benefit of this is if you plan to consistently max it out, you will guarantee $1 million minimum at retirement if you start before you're 25 years old and if you're maxing it out. So, it's like $1 million when you retire, it's tax-free. That's the point of it. Like I said, what funds do I buy, Sam? You're saying it's not gonna work unless you put funds in the account. What funds do I buy? Let's get into that. By the way, there's gonna be a cheat sheet for this too. Wow, how amazing, a cheat sheet for financial intelligence. I'm gonna start with index funds, a large group of small pieces of companies in one share. An example is the S&P 500 index, pieces of the top 500 companies in the US in one stock. So you're not just buying Apple, you're not just buying Amazon. You're buying small pieces of Apple and Amazon and Facebook and the top 500 companies all in one stock, and that's that. The average return for this is 9 to 12% over the last 20 years. Then we're gonna move on to mutual funds. It's like an index fund, but it's managed by someone or a group. Next, you could do a high yield savings. Companies that do it, Wealthfront, Charles Schwab, Amex, Barclays does it, SoFi does it. There's a ton of companies. You get 3 to 5% APY rather than 0 to 1% with your normal savings account. We'll move on to bonds. These go for terms of 6 months to 20 years. You're basically loaning the government for a period of time. It's government backed. So, if the economy is strong in the government that you're buying the bonds from, for example, the US, you're most likely gonna be all right. You get 3 to 6% return. If you are buying foreign bonds from third world countries and stuff, you might get a higher return, but it's also more risky. Then precious metals, pure gold and silver, good protection against inflation. When you are getting precious metals, just make sure you could buy jewelry and stuff. Just make sure you know what you're buying, 14 karat, 18 karat. Where do I buy all these things? Well, for one, it's all gonna be on a cheat sheet at the end of this, but let's go over this real quick. I personally use Vanguard for my Roth IRA and my index funds. You could buy funds within the IRA. You just open an account and deposit. You could purchase funds through there. I recommend Vanguard's S&P 500 fund, 0% fees. The ticker is VOO. You're not limited to buying. You don't have to buy $500 worth. You could buy $100, $50. You could also use Fidelity or other brokerages to buy mutual funds, index funds, bonds. All these companies are very similar. Vanguard, Fidelity, they all do the same thing. For gold and silver, you find stores near you. Order online from these websites, AppMex, SD Bullion, and JM Bullion. Just make sure if you're buying nearby, you go to places with good reviews, trustworthy places. And an honorable mention is Bitcoin, the only crypto that major institutions have poured millions into. You can hold long term, but it is a higher risk than the other options here. Why? Because it's just Bitcoin. It's just a digital thing. No substance there. Yippee! It's time to get rich, dog. Don't forget to grab your cheat sheets below. Like I said, bettermentusa.com. Go to the downloads tab and you'll see it. All right, moving on. Appearance and self-care. This is what we're going over. You want to look suave like this guy? Unfortunately, I can't. My hair is not like this. But we're going to go over some products, some grooming tips, some clothing tips, some posture tips. And before we keep going, this is a terrible truth. This is how the world works. You're judged on how you look. That's where someone's true first impression comes from. Not how you speak and shake your hand. They're looking at you before you come to meet them, right? So they're automatically going to judge you based on how you look. That's just how humans are. So if you don't look put together, there's an issue. Cleanser and moisturizer for simplicity. We're talking about skincare here. You add serum or exfoliator in between for more results. My personal recommendation is what I've been using for years. CeraVe. Use a foaming wash, a retinol serum, moisturizer. And if you have dry skin, you go for the dry skin versions. There will be links for all of this stuff. You don't have to go looking around for it. There's gonna be links in the description, so you could grab everything yourself. Grooming and hygiene. You wanna look like this guy? I don't know if you will. He's pretty handsome, right? He looks like he could be the next James Bond. Keep your facial hair sharp, trim it up, not too long for formal jobs. If you like the clean shaven look, it's all preference, right? Haircuts every 2 to 4 weeks, depending on your hair. I need to get them every 2 weeks. My hair grows pretty fast, but some people don't even need a haircut at all. Some people have that whole suave look going on, like those fellas on Wall Street. Yellow teeth, Crest white strips are going to be your best friend. 1 time a year, and to maintain them, Colgate Optic White toothpaste, which looks like this. And yeah, like I said, there's gonna be links for all this stuff. So don't worry, don't go looking around. I'll tell you exactly what to get. Bad breath, brush your tongue, scrape your tongue, use a spoon or use your toothbrush. Look at all these beautiful colognes here. Will you like all of them? Of course not. But please wear deodorant, bro. Here are some brands that I personally have used. Dior, Invictus, Azzaro, Tom Ford. My favorite was Azzaro. But yeah, you go to a Macy's and walk around, sniff around, talk to the people at the booths. And then you go to fragrancenet.com to undercut them and get better deals on the fragrances. You understand me? Okay, clothing. I'm not here to tell you what to wear. I'm just telling you, wear what you like, but just don't look like a bum while you're doing it. Wear things that fit. Wear clothes that fit. Match the setting you're gonna be in. Hoodies for chilling. If you're, in formal settings, obviously wear business and proper attire. Some nicer clothing companies that don't drain your bank account. Charles Tyrwhitt. I only shop there when there's sales, honestly. Calvin Klein, Macy's sales. Macy's got the deals. H&M and Zara. You go to any of these websites, it's crucial to have things that fit, because you don't want to look like this little schmuck right here, and you don't want to look like Papi Shampoo. Good posture. You do become taller when you have good posture. Posture stretches to do every day to roll your shoulders back and get taller. What are we about to do? Play a video. What? You know whose video this is? BTB Fit. Adrian's gonna show you a quick posture stretch to get taller and better your posture. You're gonna put your back completely flat on the wall. You're gonna put your arms at a 90-degree angle to the sides of you. And you're gonna raise your hands very slowly, keep everything as flat as possible to the wall as you're engaging your core. You're gonna wanna do this for reps for about 60 seconds every single morning. This has extreme benefits for your mid-back and it strengthens that area so that your posture stays up more often. Wow, what a spectacular video, am I right? It's a free tip and a free stretch to do to get your posture right. If I were you, I'd go to @BTBFit_ Instagram and just follow them or something. I don't know, it's what I would do. You now know how to clean up. So cool, man. I want to be like you. Appearance cheat sheet in the description below. Like I said, I'm giving you all the free cheat sheets, all the little hacks that you can do. Let's move on to journaling. Okay, before we get into this, you see a lot of fitness YouTubers, a lot of productivity YouTubers tell you their morning routines, and it's usually like 30 to 45 minutes, sometimes even an hour long of them meditating and them journaling and doing things that don't ever get the ball rolling. The whole point of waking up is to start and get the ball rolling, because then it's going to be easier to keep rolling it, right? If you're busy doing a 30, 45-minute routine, the ball never starts rolling and the momentum doesn't start for the day. So what we do is we journal at night when you're about to go to bed. It's going to take less than a minute. You fill it out every night, shows your progress, shows if your goals are actually met. What are we about to do? Watch another spectacular free video to show you exactly how to set up a journal to track your progress. Now moving on, we're gonna show you how to fill out this book properly and how to set it up. You're gonna pick 2 pages. On the left page, you're gonna put the month and the year that you're currently in. All the way on the far left side, basically all the days of the month, and you're gonna place the days of the week adjacent to it. So basically you have a reference point, you know exactly when it was, you know what the day was, the day of the week, and you know what happened on that day. Then you're gonna separate the days and the days of the week with some lines, and all the way on the far right, you can put how many pounds you weighed in that morning on that specific day. You could put the amount of money that you've made that day. You could put the amount of times you pet your cat that day. This is really customizable. There's no rules to it essentially, but it's sort of keeping you on track to progression, to progress even further than what you're already doing. Then we move on to these boxes. We make these boxes for our daily routines. And these daily routines consist of stretching, taking vitamins, and exercising. Like I said, this is very customizable. So you could switch out stretching for doing a handstand, having a peanut butter jelly. Then in that big open space in the middle, it's gonna be your highlight of your day or your win of the day. We filled out the left page, we're gonna move on to the right page. Now this page is gonna be your monthly goals. These should directly correlate with your bigger goals, for example, your yearly goals. So some examples would be lose 5 pounds. If you're putting lose 5 pounds in your monthly goals, we can assume that your yearly goal is lose 15 pounds or lose 20 pounds. In order to fill out this journal, at the end of every day, that 1 minute of your night, you're gonna put the highlight of your day on the day that you choose. Adrian wrote dinner with my brother. Now it could be a highlight or a win, doesn't matter. You could get as specific as you want. He stretched, he took his vitamins, and he exercised. And then whatever his weigh-in was for that morning, he's just gonna write that down on that line next to it. When you come to the end of the month and it's time to look over your goals, if you met the goal, you check it off. If you didn't meet the goal, you put why. We lost 5 pounds here. Did we reach 1,000 subs? No, we hit 542. But he's also writing down what we need to learn how to do to get to that 1,000 subs. That whole bottom space, you could fill out in completely however you want. You could put your goals for the year. You could put a to-do list for the month. You could put absolutely anything you want. On the next page, this is where you could journal. You could write whatever you want, any ideas that you may have. Going back on the last couple months, this is what it should look like after you fill it out. Oh my God. Was that another amazing video from BTB Fit _? But yeah, there's some free value for you. Now you could keep track of your goals. Spectacular, dude. Link to the journal setup will be in the description as well. So if you want to go back and rewatch that video, you can do that there. Next, fulfillment. You want to look like this guy. He might be 12 years old. He also might be a dad with 3 kids. But either way, he's happy. You find what drives you as a person. You take care of your people because nothing matters if you don't have people you love with you at the top. You can have all the money in the world, but it won't matter. Find your passion, give people value, and find your purpose. For example, what fulfills me is helping other people. I like to help people organize their goals, organize their life. That's just what I like to do. For you, it could be teaching people how to play basketball. It could be anything. Productivity and books. There's a cheat sheet in the description with productivity hacks you could use today. Other tips that will lead to a better life. A list of self-development, finance, sales, and psychology books that I recommend to anybody. See the description, get that, download that at bettermentusa.com. All resources are in the description. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, most likely only gentlemen, the only thing I'm asking from you is feedback. There's going to be another feedback form in the description, and I just want honest feedback on what you would want done differently for this course that you're watching right now. And if you did like something, put it in there as well. So I would really greatly appreciate that. The secret to getting ahead is getting started. Not my quote. Like I said in the beginning, it's Mark Twain's, but I live by it every day. I believe that getting started on your dreams and your goals and taking action is the most important part to being successful. If this course helped you in absolutely any way, please subscribe. I'd really appreciate it. Go to bettermentusa.com for all your free resources. I really hope that this provided some type of value, and I wish you guys good luck. So see you next time in the next video. Peace out.